常在我当去寻小巴的就是一样个，给我兄弟带给介绍啊，他们家带给张九去了。30辈就出这么多种是什么人？天天玩的上街行动没得嘛？这个那么大熊了，这不熊一趟不是？没着了，刚那样的呀。新疆那么些上巴汤了，这种这种都忙的嘛。 Church go logo the Ganda Church don't get another Jalamoja Gan so that there's a Sambar and the bottom gender church. No more like Tamuna and the dog. Tam Jagga those on the judge. St. John the Barton. Surround them by Chala Chazalo, Doctor Chunda Sabasuna. Nyaman Tsinchen Jala Chazalo, Hopan and some Chudr Sabala, Kinzagan. Kanchan could not use again, so gender number. Zamling Zivigan to Chanya, not to Julu, Tanyambeto, not a Tamil. Corn the sugars of the long chamber, Timmy was a shop. Chaza. That's what I know. Nam Kadanyambe, Sinjan Tamja Hutan, Daganam Jalan and the Payan, the Rose of Sanjich. Kavanjan Bochina Jantoracha, the Chotan Dagatare, Chiki. This is someone the surgeon the person the Tunyam Sotor, Yo, Yamba two, Trumpa. Che, Yapamudan Dragon, Sambra show.
Please cultivate the precious bodhicitta motivation before listening to the teachings. So please think that for the sake of all sentient beings as infinite as space, I will do whatever is necessary to accomplish the state of omniscient highest enlightenment, the state of perfect Buddhahood. And for that purpose, I will listen to the profound nectar of the Holy Dharma very carefully and put it into practice in my mind.
Longji and Kashik and Darosok Sega Sarati Montoka Longnagi.
First, a few people have asked me to give the Lung, the oral reading transmission for the Dudrum Tersar Ngondro practice. So first I'll do this.
Lama Yang New Dependent. Gazashi Bentala Gentleman, Hajan Lama Davajan, Mother Lama, Yang and Legend, but I want the original general version of the true million and Shava, Nilo number of the mother children and young breakers on the village. Yang Yilago, Yila, Yango, Yila Java, the Jindro, Sharma Jivage, then jump the second and then you are on the book. Jordan of Jim and then I'm going to do one Gindigitly Universal Saint and the General Shake, Manjela Lojan, which is on Nibongo. Tamaja, you know, what you know, he wasn't a journal, wasn't the church of Jerusalem. So was the matter on a matter, some was your person. Jiba due to the song of dinner in the Zulu, Shela Varanda Brato Salambo Lishukarana Mulam Nandin, the Washa, there is Ramon doing the Java Mission of real life. Such as on the generation, those kind of tradition, middle of the Javan Janet City has to. Last take Lama Jambu Diva, that I'm telling Ngondro Tana long de Tupai.
Okay, so now I've finished giving the lung for the concise prayer of calling the Lama from afar and the concise Dudum Terzar Ngondro practice, which was revealed from pure vision.
Nasata Tarigansu Shuja Zodi Gunjin Chuji Javik Sung Dene Chuji Rinpoche Chawa Shechawa De.
So the main topic of the teaching today is this text by Longchenpa, the four-themed precious garland.
Tatelayang Lochu Sundrowa Tang Chulam the Lompa La Soba that Desen Laura Desen Chimbo Shiri Venana Tatambo Manzo Dire Lochu Sundroviki Gap Nash.
There's four main sections of this text. There's a section about having the mind turn towards the Dharma, a section about having the Dharma become the path, and so on. But right now we're in the first one of these four sections, having the mind turn toward the Dharma.
Yes. The Lochu Sundrowa Tangbo Lochu Sundrowa Rap Delayang Daji Dejanya Prakari Tsuldang. Then Semita was a bit too legend and colonial so done the colonial song and so Gansamji Shitarne Shitashas.
Within this chapter of having the mind turn toward the Dharma, there's different parts of it which are about contemplating the difficulty of getting the eases and obtainments of a precious human rebirth, and the impermanence of life, and karma, cause and effect, and the faults of samsara. And we've already talked about some of these, and we're in the middle of talking about the faults of samsara.
Yes. The Kazan gets some roti, then Karsota take something. Then the Chung Choshi says, the Chung Choshi Papa says, Danazo Kandata, the Chung Choshi la Lapa Cortine, Ma Shiaresha.
And now today, the section that we're on, where we're starting back up in the text, is on page 7 in this book, and it's a section about contentment and how to have few desires.
Tatelayang Deba Sena Papa Nguyenla Deba Chuna Papa Riksha Cha Denden Dunga Nyamung Pewatar Deba Chungnam Manga Gawa Pel Devi Munji Tambe Ngondro Ve Tato Choshe Yoji Nyawar Chas Tante Bartadene De Chong Choshe La Labgusu Ti Sumbutu Chitan Digan Gode Tis Khazamwala Song Sarre.
So it says, if your desires are few, your virtuous actions will increase automatically. Therefore, you who wish to engage yourselves on the path to peaceful liberation, lessen your desires and be content. It is said that if you exhaust your desires, you are a real Arya, and if your desires are few, you are nearly an Arya. Just as suffering and delusion increase for those with desire, virtuous actions increase for those with little desire. Therefore, follow in the footsteps of the holy masters of the past. Be always content and have few possessions. So we already started talking about this a little bit last time, but this is the passage about contentment, how to train ourselves, how we need to train ourselves to be content and have few desires.
Yes. Dine Deba Chungna Titsigan Yibadi Tarangit Deba Chungna Papa Rishi Chas Sona Shinchina Jaganda Nientudun Zoki Shungni Shigina Konzoki Rik Soyan de Gazudine Rik de Layatan de Chung Chokshi Pakberi Sene Dishakir.
So this line says, it is said that if you exhaust your desires, you are a real Arya, and if your desires are few, you are nearly an Arya. Having few desires means you're nearly an Arya, or it means you're like in the family of the noble ones, or you have the potential to be the potential of a noble one. And in the Shravaka teachings, when they talk about our potential, the different kinds of potential beings have, one of them is the potential of a noble one, someone who has few desires and who's content.
That's then Deba Chuna Pakbe Rishi Chas Deba Sena Digan Papa Nguyen La Sondada Deba Chua in Anazada Tarelam La Dorshebe Kazakita Juda Ocha Sabenda Oshigi Sungiro then Deba de Sesson in then Papa Nguyen Song.
So it is said that if you exhaust your desires, you are a real Arya. And if your desires are few, you are nearly an Arya. So if you have few desires, then you have the potential to be a person who can travel the path to liberation. And if you've exhausted your desires, then you are actually a noble one.
Then Dungal Nyamon Pewatar Deba Dundin Dungal Nyamon Pewatar Deba Chunam Gawangang Pelsta Deba Champodan Debatozola Din Dungada Nyamon Boyang Mambo Pegieva Dinahin and in Deba Chuo Zola and Givi Chawato Zayang Rajin Ma Pelion Gres.
Just as suffering and delusions increase for those with desire. So people who have a lot of desires, just naturally their suffering and afflictive passions increase. But just as suffering and delusions increase for those with desire, virtuous actions increase for those with little desire. So people who have little desire, their virtuous actions just naturally increase.
Dewe ngonji tambi jenrowe takto chokshi yochu nyongor cha asta tendi kansu ngonji gerwa sedan chewa nam ngi jesu labne ane ngaranzo ke yang tui takto kati na yang chokshi ra labgo kore songa yochu nyongor cha.
Therefore, follow in the footsteps of the holy masters of the past. So we have to follow the example of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the past and be always content and have few possessions. So we have to try to always be content, or train ourselves to try and always be content and have few desires all the time.
Tandi mention tangananzo kalor midang chobi nyawa sakurada tindre kola songa.
Then the next passage here in the text is about the faults of being with people, like the faults of like being friends with people.
Midang chobi nyawa tseme te sa karir sana tenme nambra jinshin chawa mangs ani midang chisam mangdo chok songa inayang ani desam ka nganzola ta tenme ki namyang mangbo ani dinashin chawa mangbo yongore so lega mangbo.
It says the faults of being with people are really limitless. There is far too much useless distraction and activities. The more people we are friends with, the more meaningless distraction we'll have and the more meaningless activities we'll get engaged in.
아니 다 대zam양 책 말든 초등 탑재 펼신 작당 게 딘가 따뜻한 삼삼라 퇴마tin 총아이나 되는 공조당 탑재다 아니 공조당 탑재양 펼린 거야서라.
But not just that, anger, arguments, and fighting increase, and attraction and repulsion arise. So, sometimes if you don't get along with people, then people can get angry at one another and get into fights and conflict. So, that kind of thing will increase the more people you are around.
근데 장당 계에서도 라쇼라 차파다 신청을 나와 동서양다 망부 펠용 거야지.
And our attraction and repulsion arise. So this is like our attachment and aversion. So our attachment to our own side increases, and our aversion towards others, what we consider to be other, increases.
딱도 동을 것이 닝보매 했으면다 konzertan chobo ina tene kade inayang tene dungal goyo yam tang tene lekwarta ke ina ta dozola chi jikden be ke chasha chagdang mongsun phaya ma shi chodan timbe ke chawa gaya meyan de ka dozola tene ningbo kaya mere song.
You always become infected with their bad habits, and this is pointless. So if we think about it carefully, all of those activities that we get involved in through our friends are all just worldly activities connected with attachment, aversion, and ignorance. None of them are like Dharma activities, so they're all meaningless. They're all pointless.
Then chitra chejang guvi tumela so da ngazogi konzo la pa rogram che pen kase thokwa ina ya konzo chi Ngondro ya che dan simro ya che konzo na chi tan diksong samsam ji zane yomare so.
And no matter what you do, there is never a time when you can really please them. So no matter what you do, they'll never be satisfied. They'll never feel like, no matter how much you do for them, they'll never feel like it's enough.
Kangtar tenjang pembe koga me koga ka hasuna zuke pa labja jamne chik trangbul labja jabon chebayena konzo la chi lamden do kari chebayena dige konzo la pen toya peka la khakore so yasar.
No matter how much you try to show them, the chances are slim to benefit them. So no matter how much like good advice you might try to give them, no matter how much you might try to guide them onto the right path, it's really very difficult to actually help them.
Tetara nyaya legbi chume la asonta konzo ki kare laba takana shi nganzo ki pa nyamba ina yang tigi nanglo la tachi nganzo masanta nganzo la pen toya ki lekhi rawa tibini kaya yomare sonre.
No matter how much you listen to them, nothing good ever comes of it. So, listening to what other people have to say, none of it is actually, beneficial, good advice for us.
Shedra tuyang tama chawar churrus tamarang pemase rangi nye na shi ani tumbu ina yang ta tama ni chayve rangshin che re sonasar.
No matter how close you are to someone, like your best friend, in the end you will have to part. So even our really close friends and loved ones, eventually we will have to part from them.
Dewe kordanza shi nyindun la nyawara pangvi nyawara tenbin drenji kunpang te chikpuru uembara tambi chodubchi tering nyinne nyawara mbepara chasu.
Therefore, abandon all involvements in which you are dependent on followers, friends, or relatives. Make a definite effort from today on to live in quiet solitude in order to practice the pure Dharma.
Ta tingdung ranzu chodubi kaza yinna ta korodang za shedang tunzu tsangma bangni rangi chikpur teni choduba la mbepara chasu.
So we should abandon all of our friends and loved ones and our retinues and just stay alone and practice the Dharma by ourselves.
Tandi menne ngunji jiu tamba chong nam jang sa tandi menjene wembe yonden tamba insare.
So then this next bit is talking about the good qualities of staying in an isolated place.
Ngunji jiu tamba chong nam ye wembe ne dusi nye he song techir da ja shiwa du shin na na wemba chik tu ne wara chas.
Supreme holy beings of the past have said that living in quietude, they found the nectar of Dharma experience. Therefore, resolve that you too shall live alone in a secluded forest, in order to attain a state of peace.
Tandigi kaso dangrazo tachi chötubi kasaina tangazo wembenesu dubugure sor.
So if we're people who are practicing the Dharma, we should try to stay in isolated places.
Kain sanata ngunji jawa sedan jawa namji jang wembar newale tene duzinye sanata du changshup nyepara son yepa nangshin re sor.
When it says supreme holy beings of the past have said that living in quietude they found nectar, this means that they found enlightenment, or they accomplished enlightenment, staying in isolated places.
Wembinini jawa namji nga sonta newembala tebayena ani jawa sedan jawa namji jantela ngakwa chukire sor.
Living in quietude has been praised by the victorious Buddhas. So, and if we stay in an isolated place like this, then we will be praised by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as well.
Misi neme sami tingzin pelta tanalata misumbi nem tanalata ngazole pe sanga senge ta nyokta ta tende kange ta dopo tende yomare sor misumbi neme ani sami tingzin pel sor tanala ngazole ta gom nyamle na sokoto ya ranjin ge pel yongre sor.
With no one to annoy you, deep single-minded concentration increases. So there's no one to annoy you. There's no irritating circumstances, no other people causing you problems or hardship. Your deep single-minded concentration increases, or your meditation practice will just naturally increase.
Yes, ngangi chu drup sonata tananda ne ambala dabayena ngananzo ya tena namyang chok mesong de kaso ranshingi ko chu drup yongre sonata.
So if we stay in an isolated place without a lot of distractions, then just naturally we'll practice Dharma more.
Yes. Then kong de shaba nashin kasata debeki nyemik mangboya yomare ani mila soba tenda ya medite kaso ngansala parche cheken do ta namyang jesa ke yulu yomaro ranshin ki chotu yongre sonata.
So, we talked about earlier, the faults of desires. In an isolated place, we don't have all these things. We don't have those faults of desires, and we don't have a lot of distractions. So we don't have a lot of we don't have anyone creating obstacles for us. We don't have anyone distracting us. So just naturally, our Dharma practice will increase.
Tene metaba joje ji son tanala tene ta ji ranzoda namda tuiji ki jondolo soba ton de ko so ranjingi tene metaba guliki da tene joje ji la soba tene yongre son.
So you naturally practice the Dharma, and somber thoughts of impermanence arise. So just watching the passage of time when you're in an isolated place, just watching the passage of time, like watching the passage of the four seasons. You'll just naturally think about impermanence and be saddened by samsara. So your possessions are put aside and you have no busy work or distractions. So staying in an isolated place, you don't have all the like possessions that you would normally have, like living in the city. So you don't have all those possessions, and you also don't have a lot of like work and activities and just like distractions. Masses of good qualities like faith and renunciation multiply. So like your good qualities like faith and renunciation, and many other good qualities will like increase within you. And because there is no involvement with people, your activities automatically become fewer. So when you're in an isolated place with, there's not a lot of other people around, you don't have anyone to talk to, and you don't have any, need to be traveling around, going back and forth to different places. So your activities automatically become fewer. Therefore, without the 8 worldly feelings, not worrying about making others happy or about saving face. So when you're in an isolated place with no other people around, you don't engage in the 8 worldly dharmas. You don't have to concern yourself with making others happy or looking good in front of others. Pass your days and nights with the Dharma in the bliss of having total freedom.
rawang jine de chogare te rawang jor de tani rang kasoda kalor tarang pe tanala kibu jine de chogewa ani ninsen chokin da sarang da drupto payen ni na sentam che chodumne de chodumne de tuya otenda yore sungyasar.
So when you are, when you're in an isolated place like this and you don't have a lot of work or activities to do, you have freedom, so for however many days or months you're staying in that isolated place, you can just just be there like free and happy.
That's Tajirate Nimbu Drupa Nimbu Chess, then Tanala Devayan, Chugin down the Gosu, Nizin Chugin down the Gosu, Rang Taja Toba, Tayan Tanyaba, then Drupa Nimbu Cheba, that the Jig Yenden, Judge Milawa Yore, Sunset Teso Yenden, Judge Milawe.
In this way, make your attainment of a fully endowed body of liberty and endowments meaningful and take full advantage of it. As the benefits of all this are inexpressible, try to practice deep concentration for your entire life in complete solitude alone in a forest. So the benefits of using your precious human rebirth with the eases and obtainments in a meaningful way like this by practicing the Dharma are immeasurable. They can't be. The benefits are so great they can't be expressed in words.
Chikpur Rabtu in Benata, Second Samo Tinsin, Drubracha, so then around that and take it and Nesu, then a che the Yamne Yanda was che, so what that day, Chegur is answer.
So try to practice deep concentration for your entire life in complete solitude alone in a forest. So it's basically just saying do Dharma practice very nicely.
Yes. Tetra Lexon Chugi Charselve, Yamundu, Topa Rapin, Dingzing Gesso, Peso Rapash, Hiwin, Java, Rabje Show, Hosotandi, Kalorda, Takalor, Loton Namba Sheki, Jukul, then Sipata Sipi Yochella, Macha Pache, Ani Kiwi. Karsata Karsata Midan Tendege Jiden Badam Tunju Meva Jenata, the Ne Ambala Tende Jitu, Ne Topra Shoshi Sone, Kunjin Chimpogi, Mulam Zavare.
May the cooling rain of the Dharma, well explained in this way, extinguish the thought that is afflicted by delusion. May it fill the lotus pond of the collection of virtues of single-minded concentration. May it expand the attainment of the land of peace. So this section, the great omniscient Longchenpa is making an aspiration prayer that may our minds be inspired to practice by the four thoughts that turn the mind to the Dharma, and may we not be attached to samsara or samsaric things, and may we not be too friendly and get caught up with worldly people, and may we be able to stay in isolated places and practice Dharma.
Yes. Da Chöji Rinpoche Changwa lo chosu da tangbo sta didi lo chosu rowa da tangbo de.
So this is the end of the first chapter of this text, turning your mind to the Dharma.
Da niba denama da dene chö lamdun rowe rab niba soya.
Then next is the second chapter about practicing the Dharma as a path.
Teta rabka tambi choshola tepe rabsho tar lamdun nam rangi semni rabdun tu chö de lamdun rowe rab chö de lamdun rowe rab to ches de so.
So suppose that on faith you have entered the supreme, holy, and virtuous Dharma, and you now wish further to be on a path to liberation. What you must do is actually put the Dharma into practice as a path, that is, as a way of life. This is essential in order to tame your mind.
Yang dagwa chumma tuba ina yang teyang tena nga zo ki kalau tejur teyang chuzu su chawa chagan de kasu ta chue lamdan choya de kaya chambu re song sar.
So if we get into the Dharma out of faith, but we don't actually practice the Dharma well, then we'll be wasting our lives. We'll be wasting the eases and obtainments of a precious human rebirth that we've gotten. So we have to actually have the Dharma become the path for us.
Tandana ma tangbo an chue la shubha ina yang chue lamdo manro wadi kanda yin min tete sungu yungdu.
So this next part is about what it means to have entered into the Dharma, but to have the Dharma not become the path for us.
Titran jevi ten la rapshune thosam kompra chewa teta kyangs songre ta dangbo ngaranzo ta chö la shu tas jevi tenpa la shu ne ta thosam komsum cheken tonzo yang songre.
There are those who have entered the teachings of the victorious Buddhas in this way, and have even embarked upon a course of hearing, thinking, and meditating on the teachings. So, even for some people who have entered into the Dharma through faith and entered into the Buddhist teachings, and they do study, reflection, and meditation.
Ngaranzo ina da tenpa la shu ani tewa da samba gomba chewa ina kabra ngazo kita kalor da jadang nor songa de mangbu yonggu yore ta tonso kande yimin song yore.
So there's a lot of people who enter into the Buddhist teachings, do study, reflection, and meditation, but they like make a mistake, or they like kind of do things the wrong way, and that's what this part is about.
Kachi mashi rangi nyambatang songshi.
So yeah, some of them are not tranquil, they have base minds.
Ngazo chela shu thasam gamsam labke yore inna yang pe yu mashi ba ngazo masanta kaduk yashage na pe mi kongcho sawa de yongdo pe lunglang chokcho kongcho sawa wata tonzo song yore.
So this is talking about people like who have entered into the Dharma and do study or reflection and meditation, but they haven't really tamed their own mind, so they're like it's very easy for them to get angry at people.
Lala lam lo mendang lam gol shu sor kashini lam lo bala shu deba kashini lam membala shu deba kashini lam golwala shu deba.
Some pursue incorrect or inferior paths, or ones that lead astray. So some people follow incorrect paths, some people follow inferior paths, and some people follow paths that really lead them in the wrong direction.
Lam lokwa la shu deba de penang rangza nangba sanje pala karsa rangi nangba sanje par ke cheshina ta dana mata gyawe tena shu na tasong kompun chegi yarawa yinna yang lam lokwa la shu deba penang chulo motekpa dan rawa ki ta tachu gyula kye desana tindreki tachu kher deba tindreki yinna ni lam lokwa la shu para ko yin nangba sanje par da yinna yang ko chilo motekpa dan tachu drede de kaso lam lokwa la shu son
So an incorrect path. This is like some people, they're Buddhists. They study, reflect on, and meditate on the Buddha's teachings, but their view and conduct are actually incorrect. Like they have a view and conduct which are like the same as non-Buddhists.
Member la shukwa sayadi penang ranzo tepa chimpo ki rikchen yin jindu tene rangdo yi che ki lo rangi chikbu tarwa tuanda nyarwa yina deyang lam member la shukwa.
And following an inferior or pursuing an inferior path means like for people that have the capacity to practice the Mahayana, who are Mahayana practitioners, but they only practice with a self-centered motivation, or they only practice like pursuing liberation for themselves. That's like going down an inferior path.
Panada chi nyente dang nyarang lam lo pe kaza yinna yimba yinna yang korang ta dajambe ko bang tobji yimba la korang gi lam nyam len che de dajambe ko bang to wala bigba ma yimba tene chi korwe kin jikpa la jobra che chetu samam yang na ni korta korwen jikpa la jobra che chetu am yang na ni chi la da mi den de phun so pala thoya ge chetu mingne tene nyarang lam la ba yin teng lam membala shukwa.
Or for people practicing the Shravaka and Pratyeka Buddha vehicles, the goal of in those vehicles is to accomplish the state of an arhat. But if practitioners of those vehicles aren't actually practicing for that purpose, if they're not actually practicing with the wanting to accomplish this being arhats, but they are just practicing to be protected from the fear of suffering and samsara, or if they're just practicing with the goal of like gaining the like abundant happiness of the human and God realms, then that would be like going down an inferior path.
Ta lam kawa la sho se adi pa nanga rāza ta tek chen chanchi sambar ke chene paral da shimba choki chepa la lapa hinna ya ta tegi tene lapsul Arjun Tuki Chapala, Yang Davan, Lapsul Mashamba, Nikorangi, Jimba Tawatan, Situm Sumala Sawatanzo, then Takpachimbuka Lambda Metumba, Tendaya Chagju Yorwa, or Tendaya another Lamgoala Shosan.
So then, following a path that leads one astray, this could be like for a Mahayana Bodhisattva practitioner, someone who practices the 6 paramitas, the 6 transcendent perfections. If they don't know how to practice the 6 paramitas in the correct way, they could be led astray by like some of the like things which are taught to be done, like in the practices of generosity and so on.
Dose Chedang Sa Tandine Pemazepe Mazumasana Pe Me Kalora that's Yanan Sipana Sibi Yojella Pemazepe Shencha Chambo Yodeba Cheba Inayang Pemazepe Ransudaji Kashi Koranza Kambala Chimshi Savra Della Pemase Shencha Chambo Yorwa Otonzos Tinde Tinde Chim Mikaji Pe Cheba Inayang Pe Koranga Kambata Nangi Tunzala Pe Shencha Chambo Yorwa Kambala Pemilil Nangmida Sangmala.
Like some Dharma practitioners are very attached to their own homes and families. They're attached to like their house and all their things and their all their family members. They can have a very strong attachment to them.
Tsendri yang la so sta pe tsendi ki chawala pe yang deba ta temba la shu ta som kom sum chegyor de inna yang changma de ne tsendi ki namyang ki shawang do so na ta te kona la je tsendi ki don kona den de nye de ba ton so yang ta yin so re pe na ji nyan ra ke den do ming chen bu ke den do thoko sa ke den do ta tam den de nye wa ta to do ko den de nye wa la so ta mang bu yoro den de tsendi ki to nyer.
So, some are distracted with concerns for this life. So, some people follow the Buddhist teachings and do study, reflection, and meditation, but actually they're just completely preoccupied with this life's activities, like pursuing things in this life, like fame and reputation and like wealth and possessions and all the many different kinds of things people pursue in this life.
Chodanga wenyawa dada jang chode lam masong taglin jung musta todu sangma dene chö lamdo masong wala tenne chunga yin songre.
All such mistakes contradictory to the Dharma arise from not practicing the Dharma as a path. So all of these kinds of mistakes come from not actually having the Dharma become the path for us, or not practicing the Dharma as a real path.
Ta chö lamdo masong na tende chewa tende chongsa na kyun kare yore san tenne ma telen di chi yawa tseme te san tenne ma la di tsashi kyun di tingore.
Then this next bit is about the faults that come from not having the Dharma become the path for us.
Telen di chi yawa tseme te chulwe lu kang chikar joba ni sta chulwe ki lu kang chulwe ki lu deba ngarang chikar joba ni ta hiro de kasa tenne pe joba chombo jegire songre.
The faults that come from this in this and future lives are measureless. Whoever is fooled by such deceptions will have regret at the time of death, and will have terror and anxiety in the in-between Bardo period. So, if someone kind of makes this mistake, then at the time of death they'll have a lot of regrets. So, whoever's fooled by such deception. So, some people enter into the Buddhist teachings, do study, reflection, and meditation, but are deceived by like these faults that we were talking about earlier. And if that happens, then those people will have a lot of regrets when the time comes for them to die.
Then Pantoro Jingang Sata Pantoro Chamsong in the Bama Sebeta Pando Tronankin Jikwa Taya was a younger songs.
And they will have terror and anxiety in the in-between Bardo period. So those kinds of people, when they end up wandering in the Bardo, and they have like limitless, terrifying experiences.
Chimarang Ngondro so that Dabnena and Ngondro Teaching Yore so.
You will go to a lower rebirth state in the future. So, if things go really badly, then they can end up being reborn in the lower realms.
Then to send a Tarika metal, that the Nejavina, then to Siba comes on Corolla Tarmipe, Tarri, do you make in the younger
So he will go to a lower rebirth state in the future and never have the opportunity to be permanently liberated from cyclic existence. So it will end up that they will never be able to reach liberation. So therefore, practice the Dharma as a path. So we have to practice the Dharma in a way where it really becomes the path for us. Although people take hygienic medicine to cure their sickness, if they do not take it properly, they may become sicker than before. Likewise, what use is the Dharma if it is not followed properly as a cure? Therefore, as there are limitless faults like this, those of you with faith should understand this well. So this is talking about the faults of not practicing the Dharma as a path. It's talking about it through this example. So some sick people, the medicine they take can end up harming them more. That can happen, if they receive the wrong medicine, or if they take too much of the medicine, or for different reasons like that. Instead of helping the medicine can actually make them more sick, or it can be harmful. And so, if we don't practice the Dharma as a path, there's these kinds of faults associated with it.
Dinna dinjinya tseme be tenden jibu lepla shawar cha ta tinda gaso tende ki chö la shopa ina yang tene ji chö lamda mandro tarnangi chö wa do cha song wa do ki nyawa mangbu yore otona sangma ta hako chi yeso gyasar.
So therefore, as there are limitless faults like this, those of you with faith should understand this well. So there's many different circumstances by which we could end up, once we enter into the Dharma, not actually practicing the Dharma as a path, just practicing in a way where we just have the appearance of being a Dharma practitioner, and so we have to know about this. Are you looking for the bathroom? It's outside in the other building around there, like through the gate in that back corner. You go out one little gate, and there's like 2 bathrooms in the other building right there. Okay.
Da dinama tela chö de lamdan roa nis ta dimension ta kandis chö lamdan roa che kogi yeba oti kolo sungu yasare.
So concerning this, practicing the Dharma as a path depends, first of all, on your spiritual master. So this bit starts talking about how do we have to practice, so that in what way we have to practice to actually have the Dharma be the path for us.
Nas Tomar givi shela rale be tsenden lama damba temba ches ta tele da tangur keche adi ta kalor chö lamdan roha ten Toma de givi hinin la rale gyore tende kaso ta lama givi hinin chanyi den temba yang da pache teya di kechambure sunkyasar.
So it depends, first of all, on your spiritual master. Therefore, it is important to rely on a holy, fully qualified guru. Whatever good qualities there are come from this. So in order to really practice the Dharma as a path, or have the Dharma really be the path for us, it depends, first of all, on having a spiritual teacher. And it's important for us to have a good, fully qualified lama.
Tele legu yunden toma chung sa ta giu hinin tele ta yunden puzun sobo mabu yung kare sonsar.
Whatever good qualities there are come from this. So like abundant good qualities come from the spiritual teacher.
Tayang ta giu hinin de kadish kogu yorasana tayang tapki tuje dangi chen shi shing durwa sopan tenpa te domdang tamzik chusul punsun tso mangdo tu shing lekpar chang 바체 진랍체메 셴능난기 규르 첸디만테 추게 카드라다 인터세 된된 탈랑가 바데 닝미데스 제웬 남트데 rabdan kyo chembe temperature hasoda gyuhinin dedesh gyuhinin chanyi somar tadi dedesh gore sungasar.
And this next part is talking about how the Lama should be, what kind of person the Lama should be. So it says, as for him, he should be someone with compassion and skillful means, who is tranquil, has self-control, and is patient. His vows, words of honor, and mode of behavior should be excellent and complete. He should have heard many teachings and practiced them well. His waves of inspiration should be measureless, automatically influencing the appearance of others. He should be unconcerned with this life and cleansed like the sky of the worldly feelings. Such a person who makes the life of anyone associated with him meaningful and places him on a path to liberation is a form of the victorious ones manifested at the time of the deteriorations. Therefore, devote yourself to him perfectly with great respect. So that's the kind of person the Lama should be.
Tele penyon seme de da tenjigi gui hinye chanyi den den bachi da denba yin da tele penyon seme de son.
The benefits from this are measureless and inexhaustible. So the benefits of following that kind of spiritual teacher are measureless and inexhaustible.
Sile Joshin Ninju Lona Tongs Ngaranzo Loma Solayang. That Sile Joshin Ninju Lona Tongs Tangazmasana. Lama Gushin Sandan Damba Chapa Telatene, then Siling Origin Loyang, Rangajula Kyungre, Sonser.
You become disgusted with samsaric existence and renounce it. So, due to following that kind of fully qualified Lama or spiritual teacher, you will become disgusted with samsara and develop a sense of renunciation towards it.
Tsendi, le tong, so ranganzo tsendi. That one tsendi, zawane, le tang toba, tentayang, yongre, sonra.
Thus, your thoughts for this life lessen. So, you'll be able to give up on this life's pursuits.
Trunang dangzin shiks, ranzo tribinawa, dagdan zibatayang, shiktoba.
In your mind, you let go concern for this life, and your grasping for true identities based on deceptive appearances fall apart. So you'll be able to break down your clinging to self and deluded experiences.
Ngangi tulsing sorang razranjingi, tene shishin turba, tena yongre sansar.
You will naturally have self-control, so you'll naturally become peaceful, calm, and restrained.
Tasam gombande sanzada, tasam gomzung yun yachambo rangi yula jegre sor.
And will listen to, think about, and meditate on the teachings, so you'll develop excellent qualities that come from studying, reflecting, and meditating on the Dharma.
Teso yachi jangbi yun den dinashinta, taba dang mugu dang dangnang la sawatende, pe mambo rangi yula jegre sonsir.
You will acquire many extensive good qualities such as faith. So you'll develop many, many good qualities such as faith and devotion and pure perception and so on.
Tsendi tenyu chima dedan che tsendiyang dan yoba tse chima yang dewa dan chewa tatenda yungure sonsar.
Your present life will become meaningful and your future ones will reap the results. So your current life will be meaningful, and in your future lives you will experience the result of this.
Tene ta lama tandi ngaranzo yena ta tambo lama chanyi den den bashi tende tu jewa yena tandi tensu den den ma sonne sare teyang rangi kosun sorme be sandena ma chena ta tendrawe lama tenga jo kandis tengo kurensa lama tensu.
Then once we've met a fully qualified lama like this, then the next bit is about how we should go about following them.
Teyang rangi kosun sorme be nempe memba chongpe tepen na trupe nyemba drombe kyamatra kuwe sishu tatu nyawar chas.
So it says, therefore devote yourself to a holy master. Moreover, you should never be dishonest with the three gates of your body, speech, and mind. Be like a patient to his doctor, a merchant traveling on the sea to his navigator, a passenger to his oarsman, a guest to his escort. Try always to please him with respectful service.
Yes. Tadozu tene panaranzo ta minnepa inna amjit tengu groa tina shingaranzo ta nyomomba ki nek narde pekita nepa chinde kosa ta memba giwi hinyen dan rawa ti tengu gre sungyer.
So, like the example of a doctor and a sick person, like how when we're sick we have to rely on doctors. We have to rely on our lamas, our spiritual teachers, when we're afflicted by the sickness of, or when we're afflicted by the suffering that comes from the afflictive passions. And then all the rest of these examples here are similar to that one.
Mate lobra tabi semkena keju tranche ngondro jobar sun tewe shang dom gyosang chengbo yi tamse namda mejin sung la be sta rangi lama gyu hinyen tenne yang lama la mate padang tende chong song ayana ta teki nyekyon kande yoba te sung sara.
It is taught that if you develop a disrespectful attitude or distorted view of him, you enter a hellish rebirth for as many eons as the number of moments you develop it. This is talking about the faults that come from losing faith in the lama or the spiritual teacher that we follow. It is taught that if you develop a disrespectful attitude or distorted view of him, you enter a hellish rebirth for as many eons as the number of moments you develop it. Therefore, protect, as you would your eyes, your various words of honor to respect him. Do this by confessing if you ever violate them, restraining yourself, and feeling great regret should you ever break them.
dimension and tetrashinyan tamba raptenne ta gyuhishin tenne tawanzo karichegure sna ta tenama so.
Devote yourself in this way to a supreme spiritual master and cultivate your mind stream by listening to, thinking about, and meditating on his teachings. So then this bit is talking about like how to follow our lamas, like what we have to do when we're following our spiritual teachers.
Tetar shenyin tamba raptenne tosam gomba rangju jangchen tarwan de tarwa konan de besambai kangche gewa dembe jobani chöde lamdun dobe mengai so.
So devote yourself in this way to a supreme spiritual master and cultivate your mind stream by listening to, thinking about, and meditating on his teachings. Then intentionally transform whatever you do into virtue with a thought of desiring only liberation. This is an oral tradition teaching of how to practice the Dharma as a path.
Ta lama tenne tosam komsum ge chawa kangche ge na ya tamche tenne tarwan de besamba rangshin tenne tarwan de be sambe ki 제야디 다 최람든 저 명아 닝보지 예수면서.
So when we're following our Lama and doing study, reflection, and meditation, with all of it, whatever we're doing, we should think that it's for the purpose of liberation, and this is an essential fifth instruction for having the Dharma become the path for us.
Tenashi nyenda semdan kanten chenaya rangi tarbe tendo tezamshin.
And whenever you listen to the teachings, think about or recite them. Undertake these for the sake of liberating your mind stream. Whenever you write, read, memorize, or teach, pursue these desiring only liberation.
Gomda tadang choprachenaya tarakone samdang mandrabi ngenjung choshe trapan bebracha ningbu menga dile kona mesa.
In your meditation, philosophizing, and conduct, 2, try strongly to feel renunciation and disgust with samsara by never separating your mind from being set only on liberation. There's nothing higher than these essential oral teachings.
Dinashin sanyal rodu marju samlaso dorna chawa kana kanje tarwan debe loda mandrabi joshi gede semgin dorwar cha dinni tamche lamdun dorwi nesa.
Eating, sleeping, walking, sitting, talking, speaking, thinking, and so forth. In short, whatever activities you do, never let your mind stray from the wish for liberation. Develop disgust with samsara and thus tame your mind stream. This is the essential point for practicing the Dharma as a path.
chöjö기 chawa kaana kaanchi yana tamchi tene tarwan debe korsarta tarwan debe ki samba kone cheyade kaya cheshe sungyasar.
So with all the study, reflection, and meditation we do in the Dharma, this is saying that the most important thing is to do it all with the desire for liberation.
Kepra Teaching Lambun Rajaba, standing mention that Gang the Chidang Song important than watching take what Shimbu give a Lambun Rajabadi Kanda Guguyame of the Sukasar.
Furthermore, to travel the Mahayana path in particular. So everything before this has just been about following the path in general, but then this next part is about particularly the Mahayana path.
Chapra Teaching Lambun Rajaba Gawa Kanji Shende Mikwate Sta Tepachimba Guchu to Rajaba so then Simjan Tam Jugotan the Mikba Dire Sonser.
So to travel the Mahayana path in particular, you should direct whatever virtuous actions you do towards the sake of others. So whatever virtuous actions we do, we should do it for the sake of all other sentient beings.
Chabates Ningji Semke Mungu Yirang Semjen Tunchu Yonsu Juba also.
Thus, in order to benefit sentient beings, you should wholeheartedly practice developing a compassionate, enlightened motive of bodhicitta, having fervent regard for enlightenment and helping others, dedicating your merit and rejoicing in your own and others' virtues.
Tandenama Kandichikogusan and Detarasa. Detar Dashi and Detaran Drogan Dagi Padama Yendan Zala Penda Shin La Dagan Shenden Semjepe Drovitan to Giva Drover Cha Nas.
In this connection, you should recognize that in previous lives, all beings have been your mother and father, relatives, and dear friends. Thus it is fitting that they receive your help. You yourself must develop an enlightened motive for the sake of others, then practice virtue for the benefit of all beings.
Draw Tamjadagi Padama, Yena Zala, the Yang Indigosu, the Minegita, Dada Tamjagi Tundu, Chudubracha, Samne, Chegugri, Sugasar.
So we have to practice the Dharma, thinking about how all sentient beings have been our mothers and fathers and loved ones.
Dagi give Dagi give Draw, Devaracho, taken Dunga Dala Mibata, Dagi give and Roda Minjote, Lujen Tamjasanga Torasho, Nyam the Tseme Niji, Semke Jangs.
So you must develop an enlightened motive for the sake of others, then practice virtue for the benefit of all beings. By your virtuous actions, others will become happy. You should cultivate and enhance your enlightened motive with immeasurable compassion by thinking, may everyone's suffering ripen on me, and my virtuous actions ripen on them. May all beings attain Buddhahood.
Junjungana Sona Shi, Dashin, Nyamba, Dashin, Jawa, then Dawe Shin, Jawa Simba Lasso of Sonero, or that Zogone, Lojong Dansana, then Tijagata, Nyamlin, Jungogre, Songa de Tamje, Semjan Tamje to mean.
So we have to practice like how it's taught to do in the Bodhicharya Avatar, the way of the Bodhisattva, where it says that we should practice equalizing ourselves and others, and then exchanging self and others, and then coming to cherish others more than we cherish ourselves. So we have to practice these like mind trainings diligently and do it for the sake of all sentient beings.
Daki genam jawa semcheta ushi mingmenje la ngorcha sons.
Whatever virtuous actions you do, precede them with developing an enlightened motive, carry them out without objectifying anything, and conclude them by dedicating the merit.
Dang, that journey jesum that sang make kengirwa, that journey jesum gang jawa en dang, korsum yonsa tabani, jangja jongche, yonsu jongwa po, yundra mela, nangsam truwaji, rajin tabe, jenki tenchiru, ngo, song, di, ngo al song da zo, journey jesum, zo sanata, journey jesum sangmala, tenen dinrawa, korsum mingme ki tsisin gogure, song sir.
So everybody knows about these three, like the beginning, the main part, and the conclusion of practice. But we should do all these stages completely purified of concepts of the three spheres. So it says, moreover, you should completely purify yourself of misconceptions about the true nature of the three spheres, the object of what is to be practiced, what is being practiced, and the one who is practicing. So this is usually mainly talked about with dedication, but with the beginning part of the practice, the main part of the practice, and the conclusion, all of them, we should do them without concepts of the three spheres.
Yes. Then möba geldan gelbi chönamdan gelse tamba namki sonamshin malikun la rabdo tebade ranshin rangden niten shenden möba le dödan kurdan ngapa peme tops.
Like illusions, they are mere appearances based on nothing real, like magical creations. Therefore, purifying the natures of these three, you should dedicate the merit in order to benefit others. So then fervent regard is having extreme faith in the victorious Buddhas, their Dharma teachings, their holy Bodhisattva offsprings, and in the objects for accumulating merit, in all these without exception. From having regard for benefiting yourself, others, and both yourself and others, you will receive praise, respect, and esteem beyond all examples.
Tadi möba sayadida sangyedan chanchi sambatan soki da kalawra konaba soki kusung doke yunden re ata tonzo la nga soki da nzebata joba re tam jela nga soki deba chaya, möba chaya, ishe chaya dinsare.
So we have to have devotion towards all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. We have to have faith and devotion and confidence in the qualities of their wisdom, body, speech, and mind, and in their enlightened activities.
Hirang jardan jasen drogun la gawa kung la gawa gomba dinin sonam pungbo paatome tseme chenpo jirwe tapsho yin sada hirang di.
Rejoicing is meditating on happiness over all the virtuous acts of the Buddhas, Bodhisattva offsprings, and all beings. This is a supreme method for transforming limitless masses of merit into great immeasurable pristine awareness.
Tene dadi hirang adi ta dono ta ngara zaki ta denama jadang gels dese drokun song do ta kandar nazoyena korwa ta nyangalen dewi ki kamne korwa da nyangalen dewi dewi ki tene 상계단 자주semba ane semjen dozo ki gewi zawa kanan kang sakwa tam jela jesu irang che dir an dede da pema sebe tenda chewa ina irang chewa ina tene korang zo ki saa shabe gewi zawa tamche kyang tamche korang zo ki da gewi zawa saa shaba ki penyan taba tena shinga rang zo la top ju yoyo son di pema sebe da ala wara dina songa nashin tseme chenpo gyurga tabcho yin songa ta di pema septa dindrega tachi irang di pema sepe ka lora tab kebra chenchi dindrega yin songa.
So with rejoicing, like it says here, we should rejoice in all the virtue done by all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and all beings. We should rejoice in all of the virtue in samsara, all of samsara and enlightenment, all of the virtue accumulated by all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and ordinary sentient beings. And if we rejoice in their merit, then we gain the same benefits of them. We gain the same merit or the same benefits of the merit as they accumulated. So, like it says here, this is a supreme method for transforming limitless masses of merit into great immeasurable pristine awareness. So rejoicing is really an extraordinary method.
Molam namdang to tension da hapchoyu takpa myanga gombra cha sandedi molam tayati tayang da choyu yons takpa ngazam choyu lamjer se shyorwa ota tedang tsungwa chene molam jabu kure sons.
Then the next part is about making aspiration prayers. Pure prayers should be offered in order to benefit beings. In this connection, the oral tradition teachings of purifying the objects of your practice should be meditated upon. So there's like teachings about how to like take all of our daily life conduct onto the path, and we should like make aspiration prayers kind of in line with that. So whatever action you do should be accompanied with a purifying prayer.
Tandi choyu lamjar de jinan doche gana na song yore choyu lamjar tene dede kandes chego kuye me khasa kunjin chembo gi karago senying na so gan jawa na lo la ti sung to ha oda tanzo la signa kengre.
So this teaching on like how to like take our daily life conduct onto the path is it's a teaching from one sutra, but the great omniscient Longchenpa also wrote about it in his commentary on the Semning, also his resting at ease in the nature of mind. So you can read more about this there.
Donna tamal chose kitchen mayang for gosum gela and gawa shenden yambacha rangi to ne la pesem jende chekang lam do doshe chawala as tandor dena dinesh got his
It gives a brief explanation of this here. It says, for instance, when walking, you should pray that all beings likewise proceed to the state of enlightenment. When eating, that everyone be able to live on the nourishment of single-minded concentration. When inhaling, that you clear away and dissolve all the delusions of those around you. When exhaling, that you give others bliss, and so forth.
That's Tandi kunjin chenpo ka tangi kana nyingji semke myongo yirang semjen tenchir yongsu dropa wos chidwa di kamla kado nyingji semke nyesa na ta inji kado kebar tekchen gewa di tsik nipa tsikang sumpa di nyingji semke myongo yirang semjen tenchir yongsu dropa di dine chenpe jina maa songsha nyingji sayadi 다 데터를 broken 다게 파마 파다마 세테마 닝제 곰당 소마르 테테 아니 셈케티 다게 게베 세한데노마 셈케텐.
So, on the previous page, on page 11, in the part where it starts to talk about to travel the Mahayana path in particular, in this paragraph it says, in order to benefit sentient beings, you should wholeheartedly practice developing a compassionate, enlightened motive of bodhicitta, having fervent regard for enlightenment and helping others, dedicating your merit and rejoicing in your own and others' virtues. Each of these topics were gone through in order.
Yes, tene mungo yirang sumdeda tangbo ngowa te sungsha daki genam kasa gewa kanganam sasane ngowa sung te mebe sasane meba yirang sasane yirang molam sasane de semjen tencho yongsu droba hoos yate te hoos marsh beshin tenshas.
So then the dedicating your merit and rejoicing. Dedication includes dedication and aspiration prayers, but there's there's the paragraphs on cultivating faith, and then rejoicing, and then making aspiration prayers and dedication.
The tether turns up oncer yer kasa oncer ngadeyang sabjan jachangaro nyenro mari nyenro dropen rapse de hiwe gaten chojo tongra sho se de kongda kunjin chambogi che lamdan roya ge cheto tongmen nawa de
Never be distracted for even a moment to ordinary things. Take as your essential practice working for others and doing virtue with the three gates of your body, speech, and mind. Taming your mind stream so as to have an outstanding development of an enlightened motive is said to be the way to make any practice of Dharma into a path to enlightenment. So this is the great omniscient Longchenpa's aspiration prayer for us.
Then Chichi Rinpoche Changwale, Chu Lamdun Drover of the Nipa or Sonatandi, Subject Nipa, Chu Lamdun Drove, Rimbati Trover.
In this way, may the melodious beat of the sound of the drum of the profound meaning, the well-known sweet boom, which is both vast and profound, wake all beings from the intoxication and sleep of their ignorance. May they see extensively a joyous festival of peace. So this is the end of the second chapter, practicing the Dharma as a path.
That's that. Pemase, Ravage, Shipcha, then Pemambo, and some Sare.
So that was just a very rough, brief explanation. If we were to get into more detail about it, I think it would take a long time.
San Tarinki Chutindi Tesamche, and it diligent gives our young, or the Mulam Tundu, Lench of the Nord Shoe.
So we'll conclude the teaching session for today now. And now Let's make the dedication and aspiration prayers all together.
Sunam de Tamche Zipani, Tomne, Yevi, Tanam Pamche, Yagana Chimbalon, Troba, Yesipe, Sol, Drawa, Drawa, Show, Peme, Junglo, Anjurzopa, Ching, and Shinta, Dinjun, Gange, Sabter Temple, Mendo, Shedan, Dripens, and Georgie, Canlop, Chosen, Renloch, Zamling, Sassum, Royu, Chosen, Now. Mandraratism gele sho jangja simcha rambucha maje pano jewa nyama kone kondu bewara sho. That's